I managed to escape from prison. I swore bloody vengeance upon those that had enslaved me. But most importantly, I had no shoes. So now I was free, out in this desolate open world with no food, no cash, and no trousers. And even though I knew this world was an inhospitable horror land, and even though I clicked on this guy and confirmed he was a bloodthirsty bandit, I decided to go and say hello. Yo, maybe these guys have got some food or something. Whoa! I wandered the desert, starving, lost, alone for weeks. But it was actually like 15 minutes or something, when I found a town where people seemingly didn't want to murder me. I bought the cheapest, shittest food I could afford. But god damn it, I need some cash. So I did the only thing a rat could do. I waited until the local constabulary were involved in a bit of argy-bargy. Then I would be there, like a flash, to pick through the pieces of the dead. I would say I'm probably at like the lowest rung of Kenshi society at this point. But the cash was soon starting to flow in. I made enough cash that I was able to hit the road with some shitty armor and a few supplies. But ultimately, I had no fucking clue where I was. I found this creepy, deserted base at the top of a mountain. Okay, what's in here? Anything good? Books! I don't want books! Oh yeah, by the way, I actually spent money on this water jug. And then I read it's totally fucking useless. However, in very un-Thoke-like fashion, we hit a bit of luck. A weapon. Finally, I'll be able to defend myself. This place was like a sword dumping ground. It's time for me to become a student of the blade. Just be cool. For once in my miserable existence, I had not been beaten to a bloody pulp. Not one to tempt fate. I hauled my ass out of there as quick as possible. I found a settlement, sold my excess katanas, and decided it was time I conversed with the locals. Dude, this guy is like double my height. What's this guy, like a samurai or something? I sure showed those guys who was boss. And after being stepped on for so long, I finally decided it was time to get some backup. Having clearly been impressed with my heroics at the bar, Kyaku decides to join me on my quest for eternal glory.
Little does she know the horrors that await.
We get started by beating on this guy who has no way of defending himself. Destroy him! Then we wander for 100 million years. Hey, this area looks cool. However, it didn't take long before the shoeless Thoke began to complain that his feet were burning. Dude, his feet are sizzling! It seemed we had entered an area that was literally raining acid. Hold on, let me check the wiki here. Hold on. One of the most polluted zones in the game? I must admit, I did try and force them through this zone. However, their constant cries of agony made me turn them around. We eventually made it to some form of civilization, somewhere we could get some work. However, before we arrived at the city gates, we were assaulted. We desperately fled towards the city gates before I decided enough was enough. There was two of them and there was two of us, and we were gonna have a go and take them on.
Okay, let's go.
Oh dear. Run, 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 run! I managed to get Thoke out and sent him back to retrieve Kyaku's body. So we're now in this city. Kyaku is unconscious on Thoke's back. I briefly look over Thoke's stats and come to the conclusion he's a scrawny little bitch. So I come up with a plan. I know whilst carrying Kyaku and walking around, Thoke becomes stronger. And why click back and forth when instead I can simply set follow on a guard who is on patrol?
Goddamn, Thoke's gonna be absolutely hench.
So we follow this guy around for a little while until something very bad happens. Okay, so we need to go over a few things. So remember those guys that had enslaved Thoke in the last episode? These were no ordinary slavers. This was a group called the Holy Nation. And their two main principles are they hate technology and they hate women. Oh yeah, and they also hate Thoke. What I hadn't realized is I had been walking around with a bounty on my head for 16,500 cats for apparently assaulting someone. So this should have concerned me. And I'm currently in Blister Hill, which is the capital of the Holy Nation. Why is he looking at me? How could this happen again? Thoke was imprisoned, and Kyaku was knocked out on the side of the road. The next morning, thankfully, no slavers had kidnapped her, and Thoke was finally conscious. This ain't my first rodeo, boys. And there was seemingly only one thing I could do in this current situation. Cheese it! Using his cowardly, ratty ways, Thoke had escaped once again. And eventually Kyaku regained consciousness. And as she didn't have a bounty on her head, she was able to go and buy some important items, whilst Thoke patiently waited outside. Eventually they met up and were able to exchange the goods. It was at this moment I knew that things were gonna get better. That there were shoes out there for everyone. And it was at this point I discovered the faction tab and officially named us Thoke and the Band of the Rat.